Welcome to the Tarot Made Simple with the Alchemical Cabala. The past 2 weeks, we've been coloring and immersing in the path of Temperance, which is key 14 in the major arcana. So, as is our practice, please just unmute yourselves one at a time and just share what's been showing up for you these past 2 weeks.
A lot of testing with car repairs and stuff like that.
Testing with what, Victoria?
With car repairs,
Ah,
I deliver mail, and so my mail car, and then I went on a mini vacation, and then like 10 minutes before I got to the town, then my muffler started making noise in my other car. So yeah, a lot of car repair.
okay. Did you notice anything else along with that? Like that process?
Well, always have the help you need. And even though the car muffler was noisy, it still got me where I needed to go. So
Okay, good. Thank you.
I have something to say.
Yeah.
So, last couple weeks, I had a funeral and a wedding to go to.
Right.
A
Right.
funeral of the parents of a childhood friend in New Jersey, and a wedding of our one of my closest friends currently in where I live now in Connecticut, who got married in Brooklyn, New York. So did a little traveling, a little driving, and quite the series of events. But temperance from the beginning to the end.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you sharing that. Those are big, almost initiatory uh, moments, right? I mean, they really are those big shifts in life.
Mhm. I meditated on the card today,
Good.
and looking back on the last week to 2 weeks, um, nothing is as it appears. And I've learned that very little in life, and what's happened and what I've done and what I've contributed and what's been shown to me. Um, the things that seem bad when they happen turn out to be opportunities. And the things that have happened that appeared to be great opportunities just kind of fizzled out. Uh, my wife is facing some health challenges right now that she's dealing with quite well. Um, any thoughts, prayers, etc., very welcome. She is doing better today and most of yesterday, feeling better about life going forward. But looking at the card and meditating on the card, and on the key, I should say, the thing that I got, the one word, if you could put it in one word, is connectedness. Everything is connected. And that really seems to have been playing out for me in the last 2 weeks.
Thank you for sharing that, Steve. Very much. And your prayer request is heard.
Thank you.
I would definitely agree with what Steve was saying about us all being interconnected, and everything is interconnected between God and us and each other. There really is no separation. When one hurts, all hurt. And I feel what you're feeling, Steve. I feel your strife. Know that you are supported and loved. We're all in this world together.
I do feel that.
I'm glad you can come tonight. What is your wife's name, Steve?
Susan.
Susan. That's right. Another Susan. We are chock full of Susans. It's a good name. Really is a good name.
Oh.
May I add her to my prayer list for my rosary that I do monthly?
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
Great. Thank you. I will. Okay.
Anyone else want to share anything about what's been going on for 2 weeks?
I
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
would like I'd like to share. I've had many minor disasters in my life the last 2 weeks, more than I feel that I can handle. Like anyway, nothing serious, but they're all going to take a lot of time figuring out. I mean, it might take me all summer to get them worked out. But the thing that I felt like that I relate to this key is I had some inertia in my life, like things I didn't want to do, and I was avoiding doing them. And all this stuff just woke me up, disaster. I respond well to disaster. It's just my personality. And so I'm getting things done now. So it's an improvement overall, I guess. So I got moving in these ways that I just was avoiding, and at the same time, in the card, you see the water on the lion, and I feel like I stayed calm. I could have just panicked and, gave up and just went and hid in a corner. But I just went and did one thing. I thought, what one thing can I do today? And I did it. And the next day, what one thing can I do today? And I did it. And yeah. So anyway, it's good. I got my lazy eagle fired up and my lion that wanted to panic and go hide calmed down. So that's what I have to share.
Thank you, Susan.
You handled that well. I was going to say, I had a situation like that too, where I was contacted by unemployment because I'm on unemployment and I have to go in for a meeting. And I was like, oh no, not that dreaded meeting. And you have to look for jobs. And, it's like, I have this plan in my mind that, I've got 6 months coming to me, And I said, I better start looking at some of the jobs. And this perfect job appeared. Like, not perfect, but pretty close to what I was doing, like almost exact. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to look at this job because it's so like my job. If I didn't look at it, they'd say, she's not looking for a job. And in that feeling, that you were saying, I had that feeling like, oh, I have to look at a job. And so I applied for it and it was removed.
Of course it was.
I was like, it could come back later in about, 5 more months, but not right now.
Nice.
So that was my dilemma, but not really much. And I feel like temperance really is tempering me, like tempering my, feeling of erraticness with being kind of leveled on my playing field.
Teresa, are you a healthcare professional?
Oh God, I am.
And that's the field you're searching in?
Yes, it is. It is. Not really searching right now, but yes.
Okay.
But I will, I promise, I swear.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm a registered nurse and been doing that for a while, but I've been doing it remotely from home as a triage nurse, working telephonically for a large practice. And yeah, I was one of the latest cuts. As soon as I came home from my ordination, I came home, was quite sick, and then was fired. Just like, oh, this is interesting.
That's a perfect picture of temperance right there.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I'll just lay it out there. Ordinations are wonderful things and they, are raising up our consciousness, but it also looks into the finer stuff that you had under there that you might not have looked at and reminds you of it.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Good stuff.
Talking about
Thank you.
things
Thank
that
you,
pull
Teresa.
in different directions, all of a sudden, a lot of work to be done. Uh, I Friday I got a notice from the city hall about taxes that need to be paid on a car that was uh, it was uh, totaled back in March, and they wanted to pay a whole full year, and I had to go to the town hall, city hall, and they were closed on Friday, so I was there today. Last minute, of course, I thought I already took care of it, and so, but they wanted a letter. I got the letter. I went to the insurance broker, got the letter. I went back to City Hall, uh, got the adjustment. I couldn't pay it because I didn't have cash. They want cash. I had to go to the bank, get cash at the bank. I made it with time to spare before they closed for the day. Got the whole thing resolved, and I didn't lose my temperance.
Good for you.
That was great. That was
If you can deal with the
determination.
government and not lose your temper or a corporation, you're doing pretty well.
Mm.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, I can share something real quick. Just regards to working with this card and reflecting on the last couple of weeks, the it's been interesting where I don't know, part of the thing that comes up is like there was one or two moments where I feel I'm like, yep, kind of got my hand slapped, like, I kind of did a thing and then the next day something happened. But basically, one of them was I woke up one day. So I had this basil plant that I'll try and move the mic closer here. I have a basil plant that I've been watering and growing and all that. Um, for the last like 2 months or so, and it was getting really close to great. But the night before, and I don't know, just kind of felt something about the whole like trial and probation aspect of this card and how it's like, uh, it's like doing. There's a couple things that went on the last couple of weeks, and then something that happened the night before. I feel I chose not in the best of manner, and then like the next day, like the basal plant wasn't just like oh it was cut down or whatever. Like I was like I don't know how this disappeared, but just was like gone. Um, but anyways, but that being said, I'll just say briefly on that that the when I was working this card like a week in, I had a really big what I consider to be like emotional shift to something I've been working with for a while, and then it just like something like really it's not so much cracked open, but I don't know. It's just I was able I just felt I connected with on such a deeper level this thing that it really and it just was very revelatory on stuff that like like I was like, oh my God, like this is and it wasn't so much just this intellectualization, but like really landed in a way where I was like I felt it. It was really powerful. There was that and I don't know what it is. I don't know how, but I just when I was working with a week ago and I had the card and I had some other materials that I was working with, dude, I straight up like I don't know what it was, but like it was like a lightning bolt of feeling where I'm like, I'm gonna go make pasta right now. I have never made pasta in my life. I have never had now granted, I do culinary stuff, Eben. Yes, I've been doing it forever right there. But making pasta from scratch has not been something I've ever been inclined to do. But just like, dude, it was what like in that moment, like I was like I just I finished like color. I was actually like right when I finished coloring the card, and I was like looking at it, and I was looking at some of the materials I had surrounding it, and I just felt like compelled. I'm like, you know what? No, I won't swear now, but I was like, I'm gonna go make some pasta, and so like I go over it, and I just started getting into it, and it was so number one, super easy, nutritious, delicious, highly recommended. But it was just that the act, and I bring that up because the act of creation, the act of engaging in art, because in other aspects of this type of study, the whole thing, what I correlate this to is like art
Yeah.
and the whole thing of just fire and water, water and fire, and all that stuff that we could delve into forever. But the whole thing of just the act of creation, the act of exploration, the act of just the whole thing of the act, and it was I have all sorts of creative things around me and I have all sorts of outlets for stuff and whatever. But like just in that moment, I wasn't even like, I wasn't even hungry for it, but it was just like, I need to go. I needed to, I felt in hindsight, I'm saying like, I was like, I want to do something I've never done before. I want to explore this thing that I've,
Your
uh, yes, exactly. Yeah. Just to explore
your
it and
your
express.
right brain was demanding to express.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and express in something precisely, and a key aspect of it, just to get in my own little space of that, is the fact of expressing something that I hadn't allowed myself to express because I was like, oh, pasta, carbs, it's probably not good for you, blah blah blah. But I was just like, I don't, it's fine, it's okay. To quote Marco Pierre, right, where it's like, calories are delicious. It's like the more the better, So, but it was still a thing where it was just that ability and active expression, and then I just kind of that whole weekend and really the whole week afterwards, like it was just this exploration into Italian cuisine that I've been at right there. So like, my house smells fantastic, by the way. So I'll just say that. But it's been wonderful. And so there was that. And then there were a couple of, I'll just call them serendipitous moments that were occurring. I was at a poker night and some things came up where I did a double take. I was like, what? Did they really say what I just said? But, or heard what I just heard. But yeah, long story short, it was just the whole thing of art and expression coupled with, I'll just say two moments where I had, let's say, not made the most ideal of choices. And I felt that there was a very quick slap in the hand, but also in a loving way that it was done, where I was just like, got it, check, noted. So it was interesting times.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Easy. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
So I've got a question on the card.
Sure.
Well, I mean, an observation, I guess. You know, the eagle's body is white, the lion's mane is white, and those just seem so odd to me. And I included that in my meditation thought, but I didn't get a lot of guidance on it. I didn't get a lot of good info on it or anything. Does anybody else have anything to say about those colors?
Does anyone want to share anything about the colors on the card with Steve?
Yeah, the Michael's robe is white, but his wings are red. The lion is red, but its mane is white. The eagle is white, but its head is red. So, I mean, there is a rhyme reason to that. I mean, they're showing two complete. No, white is totally offsetting to the red. So, I mean, it's extremes. Uh, yeah, all three entities in the picture have that same uh, contrast.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
All right. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Good observations. Anyone else? Anything about the card or to Steve's question about the colors?
I also observed the Jehovah on the angel's chest
Mhm.
appears to be written backwards. Is Hebrew written or read right to left?
It is.
Okay,
Hebrew is traditionally written right to left, correct?
okay, okay.
It's funny how we are, it's like
Or
written
was that
backwards.
either that or was in looking in the mirror?
Yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah,
But thanks for that. That
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Anyone else want to share anything about their past 2 weeks? Oh, before we move forward, I'll say this, Steve. On the color sequence in the tarot, if you familiarize yourself with the colors of the spheres of the tree of life
Uh-huh.
and their meanings, you will it will help you to tune in to what figures are colored what color in the major arcana. So, on the tree of life in the Western tradition, the crown of Keter is the divine self, and it's all white.
Okay.
So anything we see that's white in the major arcana, we associate it with the self, the divine self. And to be clear about the white, it's a color of purity, but it's not like the world thinks of pure. In alchemy, purity simply means without admixture. It's essentially itself. So if
Okay.
you have like say gold is 24 karat, then that would be pure gold, right? But if you have it mixed like with whatever, then it's becomes like 14 karat, right? You have these other elements. Or any element that has any other element added would be considered not pure in alchemy. It's not a it's again, it's just means without admixture. So if you see something that's white, it just means that it's what it is exactly that and nothing else. If that makes sense.
Okay. 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 When I started to meditate, the first thing that came to me is, well, you got the left brain on the left side and the right
Yep.
brain on the right side, or vice versa.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, from the perspective of the angel.
Yes. Okay.
And and you know, keeping those two balanced in our approach to life is kind of like what the card's suggesting I pay attention to, maybe.
Yes. Yes. This is the middle path. This is not going to one extreme or the other, but coming in between the two.
Yeah.
See, so this is on the tree, it's the middle path on the middle column. So this is the most central middle path of the tarot
Oh, okay. On the tree of life.
on the tree of life. Yes.
Gotcha. And then it's fire and water,
Correct.
the creatures, right? Okay.
Fire and water.
Rather
That's right.
than not one or the other, wouldn't you say it's a balance of the two?
Yes, it's always being tempered. We're always being tempered by the divine self until we become more ourself. It's a process. It's alchemy. Anyone else have anything they want to share over the past 2 weeks?
Just real briefly on actually on the note of the coloring of the cards, that was definitely something that which I'm reflecting on what I just shared too. Like the amount of red that is there. I mean, highly it was a fun card to color in. Number one, especially when it was like the the wings and then like the rainbow. The rainbow, I was like, okay, it's getting a little tricky with making sure it all blended in. But that being said, I don't know, just something about the coloring of the wings
Mhm.
and just because there's just so much space to do it there, and it was just there's a I don't know, just kind of really feel there's such a freedom like in doing that, and again, I point to the red too because I'm like, oh yeah, activity, there you go. But that's its own deal. But yeah, it's a lot of red in this card that just jumped out at me when I was reflecting back on when I was coloring it in. But
Yeah.
it's good.
Thank you, Easy.
Mhm.
All right. Does anyone else have anything they want to share? Otherwise, we're going to move forwards.
It was when I was coloring this card that I was initiated into the illumination.
Ah, perfect. That's perfect, Patrick. It's perfect.
Thank
That is this card. Yes, 100%. Okay. Thank you all for sharing your experiences and light with Key 14. All right. Now, the take a deep breath, and as you exhale, just let go of everything for the moment. Center. Take a deep breath again. Feel down into your heart and down into your core. And really, as you exhale this time, give yourself permission to just let go of everything, just for this moment. Let it go. Good. Who is like unto God in you? The key of temperance on the royal path that we call tarot. So, in the major arcana, each path is an initiatory experience, an evolution of our soul. And In the tarot, there are only two figures that are only dressed in all white. Only two of the 22 major keys. This key is one of the two. In the Western tradition, this is the Archangel Michael, or Michael. And the name Michael means who is like unto God. All right. Try to uh, uh, just allow your intellect to sit at your side and just observe and just receive when you work with this key and as you listen. Before you incarnate as a human being, you are a pure spiritual being. That is one with the All Creator. Here, you are like unto God. Because here, you are as God knows you, as the Creator has made you. In your eternal being. For the one Creator to experience itself in its own creation, because there's only one, the all starts to spiral, and spirit starts to descend into denser vibratory frequencies or states, if you want to call them. This beginning of the whirlwinds is what it's called in the Cabala, traditional, but it's the spiraling of the one that is you. This spiraling of spirit moves in and through the spiritual being that one is. When spirit descends into denser vibratory states, it evolves bodies, bodies within bodies. It evolves these bodies for its own self-expression through spirals. So we see it very clearly in the DNA of the makeup of creatures in Malkut, in the world, and in the human being, and in the animal. But in the human being, specifically, we look at and we see the evolution of the nervous system. The nervous system specifically in what we call the flesh body. The nervous system is the primary physical structure or interface for the spiritual being that one is as it expresses itself in the being that we are as human beings. And it's through this lattice or structure of the nervous system that one is tempered by the solar being that is the holy guardian angel, or the great Christos. So when you are first developing the vehicles of the bodies or the body that you are formed in your formative years as a human incarnate in your own flesh, this nervous system gets imprinted literally and deeply. This nervous system is imprinted precognition and pre-verbal development, etc. And the imprints are the patterns into which you come into this world called Malkut from the self, from the source. This should be deeply considered and contemplated. It will shed a tremendous amount of light for you on the spiritual path. And one good reason to contemplate on this is because a great deal of what we tend to think of and identify ourselves as, who we think we are, is simply imprinted patterns in the nervous system that we involved ourselves into as we came into this plane of existence, which is the fruit of the bottom sphere of the tree of life called Malkut, the earth plane. So in short, most persons they're just simply not who or what they think or feel they are. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just, it's missing the mark of remembering our actual self. Now, on the path, if you understand that you have these patterns that have been imprinted, don't beat yourself up about the way or ways that you find yourself, your tendencies, or your perceptions to behave in certain ways. Much, if not most of this, was not even your doing. And it isn't the real you. Now, that said, it doesn't excuse us from from being ourselves and behaving how we know we should behave, according to self, right? We're still accountable. This is part of the work. But know that the real you chose to take on these patterns and emerge through them. And the path is to come in to experience these and evolve back to the source of your own being. This key helps you do that. You don't have to figure it all out. In fact, it's impossible. You can't. You can't figure it out. This is why we have this self and the holy guardian angel. Because it does know what's going on. So give yourself a good measure of grace, because all things will pass. All things will pass. But the self that was, the self that is behind all appearances, as Steve said, not as all is as it appears to be. This is true. And the self that will be remains, which, if you don't know, that's the English transliteration for the name Yod-He Vav-He, or Jehovah. It means all that was, all that is, and all that will be. It's the essential self. So when as human beings incarnate, when we start back on the spiritual path of return, in essence, what we are doing is we are seeking to return to the state or the vibrational frequency where we are as God has made us. So the central and peripheral nervous systems must be tempered. They have to be tempered to become stronger vehicles in order to hold this much higher state of spiritual vibration. The guardian angel assists us in this. For most of us, for a long, long time, for many, many lifetimes, it's the angel interacting with us that gives us difficult circumstances, and we react from the instinctive animal nature. We lose our temper. We get steamed up. We get pissed up. We get fired up. We get angry. All of the things. This is just one way that this intelligence evolves us. Most simply, and hear this, if you work with this key, the most simple way to work with this key is to just invite the presence of the guardian angel to come and show you and work with you. It's the light of the presence of the self that's doing all the things. Ask to have communication with this being. On the path, the primary goal of hitting the mark is to establish this connection, to consciously enter into a deeper communion and relationship with this being, the holy guardian angel, or if you're in the Christian mysteries, the Christos, Christ, the light. This is the path of trial and error, trial and probation. And for most persons, the experience of the path is trial and error. That's it. It's trying this. This works, this doesn't. This doesn't, this does. This is the basis of science, right? To be able to reproduce an experiment that produces a result. Similarly, in spirit, we go into presence and trust, and then we get results which builds trust. In Malkut, or the earth, the body has to come into a greater or finer alignment with the being that we see in Key 14. So as to be raised along with the spirit that is like unto God. So all responsible, authentic spiritual orders or orders of service won't just plug anyone directly into the highest voltage of the one light. That's when you That's no good for anyone. The one light is beyond concepts powerful. So a good analogy is to think of a nuclear power plant. And the core is the self. This is just raw power. The difference in spiritual truth is this powerful being is also of immense intelligence. It's not just raw power. So in a nuclear power plant, virtually all of them are cooled or tempered by great rivers of water. So we see steam rising up, and the steam is what turns the turbines that generates the electricity, right? And we have to have this water, mercy, it's mercy, because the power is so strong of the spiritual fire. And in the analogy of the power plants, if you don't cool it, that great power will just essentially melt everything back down to its most primordial elements. This is the same process that we call alchemy, spiritually, in the human and spiritual form. That's why we breathe in the air, right? We circulate the prana. It goes into all the bodies. The light then slowly, little by little, it transforms our vehicles to be able to hold more and more light. If you followed the weather, the news this week, you might find it interesting that the large island of Hawaii, which has the large volcano, just had just this massive downpour of water. I think they got like somewhere between 30 and 40 inches in 24 hours. And it was snowing on top of Kilauea, the mountain, or the volcano. I just think about all that water pouring down into the, the center of that volcano. This is tempering. And the same process is so with our own soul. And this process is done in and through us, through the higher self, shown here as the Archangel Michael. Okay, take a breath and just let go. Let some space in. The Archangel Michael is a real being. Real. In the Western tradition, this is the angelic being, the Archangel of the sun, and beyond the sun. It's just that our sun is the center of expression here of the one, and our point of contact with this level of being, the Christos. This magnificent being has many, many, many names, and it oversees yours and all of humanity's spiritual evolution. And this is specifically about you, because you are a specific center of expression of the self and soul that is you. So the key and the real being here in Key 14 connects your person's incarnation, who we tend to think we are. It connects that, us, with all of your thoughts, all of your feelings, all of your memories, all the patterns, all your dreams, all your imprinting, down into your physical form. It connects all of these things back to that which is the real, that which is like unto God. As an aspirant is sincere, and sincerity is the the floor. You have to be sincere. Not to be good, just because you you're not going to have any real much contact, so to speak, consciously, if you're not. But with sincere, persistent practice, day to day, if you persist and work with this key and ask for this experience, it will come to you in different ways that are always appropriate to you. So it's not like you have to have this experience or it's not valid. That's silly. But I will say this knowledge and conversation with the Holy Guardian Angel is a real major threshold on the path. And when you come into this experience, you won't have to wonder if you had this experience or not. You won't have to question it. If you wonder about it, that's fine. Just keep asking for the experience. Using this key is very helpful because it tunes and dials the Western mind in to the inner experience itself. But it takes persistence and practice. That's why it's the path of trial and 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 probation. Now, the being that is shown here, Michael, in you, understand this. This being is always, always, always with you. It's not outside you. It has never left you and will never leave you. Its wisdom is flawless, and you can trust in its timing perfectly. Again, very simply, if you want to have a deeper relationship with this being, simply ask for it and allow yourself to enter more deeply into the presence. This being's always testing us to see what we're ready for. Most persons on the path, when they're being tested, they're completely unaware that they're even being tested, which is a mercy, really. But when you approach this path, this key, this intelligent being, do your best to open yourself up and trust. And should you find yourself in a very deep, real encounter with this being and have this experience, and it's not just one and done, it's an ongoing evolution relationship. But when you do, don't tell anyone. Just don't. Write it in your journal. Keep it intimate between you and the angelic being and within. Do not tell anyone. Now, if you have to tell someone, You just must only tell a teacher and a teacher that you completely trust. Here's a really good practical practice that you can use to work with this being in your own life, which will guide you flawlessly through your whole life. It doesn't have to be some far out cosmic experience. You will get your guidance moment by moment. You just have to stay open to it. But if you'll regard everything that's occurring in your life as a way that the Holy Guardian Angel is interacting with you, you will get much, much closer to this relationship consciously. Now, I'm going to say this to be helpful because you're not going to outsmart this being. Our little personal identifications, right, will try to, because that's how we learned how to survive in the world, right? The little strategies that we all have, which is funny because it's true. I mean, but that works on the level of animal instinct and survival. But this being knows everything about you already. And the Archangel Michael, is the head of the heavenly hosts. Michael is a warrior angel. When discerning things by their fruits, you will know them. So when you approach this being, try to have humility and understand that most of the time we don't know what it is this being is trying to even teach us. So try to let go of thinking we already know. The angel will never fail to guide you in your own best interest. Let go of being tired. And hear this. It takes courage to follow the heart and face the real within you, as it is. The rainbow and the key is the promise that as we persist, we will receive the help we need. No matter how many times we try and fail, if we persist, you will succeed in the great work, which is simply being your authentic self, the real self. The promise is you will succeed. The guardian angel, the holy guardian angel, can and does make this promise because this is the part of you that's doing all of the things anyway. This is the part of you that actually knows what's going on. Which, if when we question things and we're coming from like, what is going on? Guess what? That's a good place to be because then we can open up to the part of us that actually does know what's going on. Okay. So here's our key for the next 2 weeks. I'd like you to just give it your attention and just please unmute yourself and share just one thing, just one thing or aspect that stands out to you. in key 15.
The feathers on the figure, like that are like from the legs, basically the lower part of the body of that large
Yeah,
figure.
good observation. Thank you, Easy.
Yep. Mhm.
The floor seems to be reflecting light.
Huh, nice. Thank you, Victoria.
I see the symbol of Mercury, I take it, on his belly.
Good. Thank you, Susan.
I see the pentagon on top of the head is upside down.
Good. Thank you, Wilfred.
He's holding the torch down.
Good. Thank you, Steve.
Gotta be painful.
I see in the very center of the picture that there's the white beard, the holiness, right about where the heart should be.
Nice. Thank you, Rachel.
The opened right hand with the nanu nanu going.
Just got the name. Thank
Nanu,
you, Teresa. Excellent. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Let's see. I see it's like the bunny rabbit ears. That's what I see. All right. So there are a few keys in the Arcana that most persons will just avoid. This is one of those keys. And and um understand that this key on in the tarot on the 3x7 layout is the first stage of spiritual unfoldment. The first of 7. So as you work with this key into the next 2 weeks, have courage and a good sense of humor as you color and immerse yourself in this key. Thank you all for sharing your light and presence.